Ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Well, that was very underwhelming. Guys, today we're going to be doing a Q&A where we're going to be answering all your questions to do with Love Island, the Traitors, which is currently on TV, things to do with mental health post-show, and a bit to do with my ADHD as well. So, let's go. Hey! Hey! First question is by, and this is going to be difficult to pronounce, Meljustason. I am dyslexic, by the way. What was one of your best memories / moments from Love Island? Also, I'm a 44-year-old mum, too old to be watching Love Island, haha, and just wanted to say I think you are doing great. Oh, thanks, Meljustason. So I actually have a few different best memories / moments, and they're actually all off screen. I won't do them in order, but the first one was probably with everybody when me and Rob were down at the dock. We were just having like a normal conversation. I think we were talking about something and we were pretty sad. And I got up first and started walking down the dock, and I took probably like 3 or 4 big steps until out the corner of my eye, I saw a snake. I don't know which snake it was a sea snake. And I just looked back at Rob and everything just went in slow motion. And I was like, Rob, snake! And I've never seen him move so quick in my life. He ran to the end of the dock, turned around back at himself because he had to climb down the rocks. And then he looked at me and he's like, should I? And I was like, yes, you should. And he just took his mic off, ran down, got in the water, grabbed this snake, came back up and showed me it. And I was like, this is so cool. And apparently it was like the 2nd most venomous snake in Fiji. So he should definitely not have grabbed it. And then out of excitement, he was like, grab Connor. So I ran, went to Connor, but obviously it was a whole villa, and I screamed, Connor, there's a snake! And all of a sudden, everyone ran, all of the islanders ran, like everyone was there. We all looked at it, and Cordell turned around, and he was like, YOLO, and literally went and touched the snake, and then Rob like kind of said, bro, you can't do that, it could have killed you. That was probably moment number 1. Moment number 2, again off screen, was in Casa Amor. And it was when, so Cordell always used to fall asleep, like wherever he was, he'd always fall asleep. If you see him at the reunion, I'm fairly sure there's a clip of him falling asleep at the reunion. But we were laying down on the bean bags, and he got called away to do one of his like MIV talks in the beach hut. And he walked up, went off, and we all just like laying on the bean bags, and all of a sudden we hear a massive bang, and we were like, what the hell was that? Me, Rob, and Kendall all get up. We look round, see Cordell, he's kind of like stunned like this, and then goes and falls back on the bed, and you see this face mask on, or his face on the windowsill, where he was so tired that he walked into the MIV room. They told him that he was falling asleep. They told him to leave, so he left, and he didn't realise that one of the windows was closed, so he just walked straight into it and left his face mark on the window. And then moment number 3 was probably this, like again, this was off screen, but it was the last ever conversation me and Rob had on the dock, and we kind of like finished off and everything, and the whole time during the whole show I was kind of like, we should jump in off this dock, like it'd be such a great idea. And we just stood there, and I kind of looked at him, looked at the water, and I was like, we should do it. And he was like, yeah. And we both started like stripping down. He was down, he got down to like his boxers. He still had his mic on, and I had my trousers on, and we were both ready to jump off into the water. The last ever scene, and then over the production, the speakers, you heard like 2 people like screaming like, no, stop, stop, stop. 2 runners ran out and they were like screaming at us. They're like, no, stop. And it's my biggest regret to this day is not jumping in the water. And I knew at that point I'd like been basically pummeled into submission by the producers, because in my ADHD brain, if someone says no to me, that in my brain says yes, and I would have just jumped. And at that point, when they said no, I was so knackered and tired. I was just like, do you know what? I'm just not going to do it. So that's one of my biggest regrets. But yeah, they're my top 3 moments. What have you got? Oh, you just... This is my white jumper that I'm meant to be wearing all day, and you've just got it dirty. Huh? You've just got it dirty. Come on. So question number 2 is by Simon.Pearson. And he says, are you finding that the outdoor adventures are helping you with your mental health? And has having a dog helped you too? So I would say yes. At the beginning, when I just came out of the villa, I ended up kind of like just hibernating and like staying indoors quite a lot. So my mum would encourage me a lot to like go outside and go on walks as much as possible. As my therapist said to me, you need to do things that you love with the people that you love. And I just love being outside. So the more she was getting me out more, the better I was feeling. And then that developed into wanting to do something for my granddad, and kind of, we initially wanted to walk across the UK, but it's going to take too long, so we ended up hitchhiking, and that did amazing for me, because for about 6 or 7 days I wasn't on my phone at all. We were just out in the countryside, and I was just spending time with my brother the whole time, so that was incredible. And then the next thing after that kind of developed into the cycling across Spain, which again, we were out there for a couple of weeks. That helped a ton. We were just like in the countryside all the time. We were cycling through Spain, which was just amazing. And then eventually we started doing the camping and hiking videos, which has now kind of become like this like YouTube sort of like thing, which has been amazing. And then that developed into getting Bailey, which was great for our mental health. I would say it's definitely boosted all my family's morale. Bailey, come here. And I think, yeah, I owe it a lot to Bailey. She ends up taking me out probably. I say she takes me out, I take her out a couple of times a day. And I think getting a dog, personally for me, has helped a lot, because it just like encourages you to just go back outside again and spend time with people and stop and talk to people that you wouldn't normally talk to. It's kind of all helped out really well and worked out really well for itself. But yeah, you are just gonna make my jumper filthy all day. We're gonna head back now anyway, and we're gonna answer the next couple of questions in the gym. So yeah, come on then, come on, come on. Right, so the third question is from Landon.T.Wilson, and they're asking, who do you think has been doing good so far in this season of the Traitors? So obviously Mina's been doing incredibly well from a Traitor perspective. However, I do think the tables can turn very quickly, like from season 1 with Amanda. Episode 6, I think she was absolutely fine, and then by episode 7, she was out straight away. But from the faithfuls, my predictions are I think Leanne will win, just because they've developed her storyline quite well, and she's had like a lot to say like around round tables, so I think they're going to keep her in until the end. So fingers crossed. Right. So the fourth question is going to be from Jessalay, and they're asking, are you planning any more cycling challenges like your bike ride across Spain? How do you find keeping fit and being active helps with your mental well-being? So any more cycling challenges? We're potentially doing something with a unicycle. So if you guys have got any recommendations or things that you want to see us do with the unicycle, drop them down below. And how do you find keeping fit and being active helps with your mental well-being? I think fitness in general is just incredible for your mental well-being, just because you're being active, you're moving around constantly, and specifically the cycling across Spain, I think it actually personally helped me quite a lot, gave me a bit of purpose and a bit of a challenge to raise as much money as possible for the mental health charity Minds. But in doing so, I think it just like helped me like open up a bit more with my brother and just talk to him about different things that I wouldn't usually talk to him about. And I think we're going to try and put something together where this springtime we go off with a few other guys that potentially like might not usually open up to like their friends and stuff, and take them with us, just so we can be like a little bit of a group and do it all together, because I think that would be really successful and just good for everybody involved. So without further ado, we're going to head back home now, we're going to get some food, and then we're going to head down to the Grampus and take Bailey for her second walk of the day. Oh, you're going to love this. Here you are. Wait. Ready, go! That was underwhelming. Can you see her? You can just see her head. So guys, we're just going to do a couple of quick fire questions whilst we're walking down to one of our local pubs. If you've watched my TikTok videos before, you'll know this walk. But the first question is from Annette Williams 1710. She asks, how come you did Love Island US and not UK? The reason why I ended up on the US version was because during the filming of the Traitors season 1, they filmed the Traitors season 1 America a couple of weeks earlier in the same castle, and apparently they said, why don't we get someone like Aaron from the UK version on the US show, as in Love Island US show, and the executive producers basically liaised with each other. One of the runners reached out to me whilst I was on a yacht overseas, and yeah, we just went through the process and the motions, and I ended up on the US version. Don't ask me why, but I did. So we are going to carry on walking. I've got a couple of more quickfire questions, and then we get to the juicy questions when we're actually down at the pub. Bailey, come on. Good girl. Are you eating shit? Come on, Bailey. Let's go. The next question is by Carly Al. She says, "Hi Aaron, you remind me of my son so much. He struggles with his emotions and can get very upset or angry easily. I think he is going to struggle with his mental health as he navigates his teens. How do I help him? What would have helped you most at his age?" I don't know. Obviously, I can't really like tell people how to like bring their kids up, so don't take this as any advice. I'm just giving you my personal opinion on what I think would have helped me when I was younger. But I think, firstly, what used to really like frustrate me as I was like getting older, like I was going through my teenage stage, is people won't really like treat me like an adult, and I think that really like frustrated me and got under my skin quite a lot. And secondly, and I think this comes from my ADHD, but when people used to tell me, "What, Bailey?" As you can tell, Bailey's probably got ADHD as well. A lot, like something I used to struggle a lot with was like authority, and if someone told me like not to do something, it would want me to make me do it even more. So I think more often than not, if you'd have just let me do it, I would have either one, got it out of my system, or two, probably wouldn't have wanted to do it in the first place, knowing that I could have. It's just the fact that someone told me I couldn't do something, which used to irritate me. So yeah, they're the two tips that I would give, but obviously I don't have kids and I don't know how difficult it is to bring them up. Other than Bailey, she's my little babies. Yes, little daughter. Come on. Okay. Oh, this is spiky as well. Ah, how's that not hurting your hands? Or you mean your mouth? Ow! Bailey, what the hell, dog? You're crazy. So, we are next to the ponies. One's coming over. So the next question comes from Cam Barkley 466. How are you doing / feeling? Do you use medication for your ADHD? Many blessings. How are you doing / feeling? I'm definitely feeling like a lot better since the show. I can't lie about that. And then in terms of do you use medication for your ADHD? Not anymore. I find that one of the most difficult things that I struggle with. One is my like memory. Like I really struggle to like remember things. And the second is sometimes like being just in like large crowds. But with the first one, the way I've overcome it in the past is I've actually taken like omega-3 tablets, so omega-3 6 and 9 tablets, which come from fish oils. I use algae tablets, it's vegan. But that's helped like 10-15%. And then another thing I use as well are more like home remedies, to say the least. Things that little mushrooms that you pick in October, November time that we get over here in the UK. So that's helped quite a lot, which unfortunately, when I went to like Love Island, they actually lost one of my suitcases that had all of like my medications and stuff inside it, all my tablets, all like my mushroom tablets, all my omega-3 tablets, etc. And I never got them back. So that was another thing that I kind of like struggled with whilst I was on the show. I was a bit like up and down. But yeah, that is the question. And you've got ponies in the background, Charmaine. That's pretty good. Who's that, Bailey? Oh my God, this is so strange. Bailey's never seen another animal other than a dog. And she just kissed her. This is so cool. Oh, Bailey, you scared her now. You scared the gorgeous pony. Anyway, guys, we're going to carry on walking down to our local pub and then I'll answer the next question. Answer the next question? Yeah, I'll answer the next question. Where's your stick going? There it is. What's this? Oh. This way. Come on. Good girl. There we go. Bro, it's one of them things, look. Bailey, if I give you this, you would actually go crazy, so I don't want to do that. Oh my God. Oh. God, look at that. Mad that that's all seeds. Yeah. Deadliest ocean nut. Is that any of my Call of Duty fans out there? Oh, look at me now. What's this, Bailey? Whoa. No. Whoa. No. No, Bailey. So the next question is from user 222389. Do you still keep in contact with any members? I'm not really too sure on like what show you're talking about. So the Traitors, I still keep in contact with a few guys. Like Matt came down and saw my mum like last year, and I was planning on doing a couple of videos with like Tom from the show, and I still speak to Meryl. And I actually did see her recently when we hitchhiked through the UK. And then in terms of Love Island, yeah, I still speak to a couple of the guys like Kendall, Rob and Connor. We just like checking with each other every now and again. I spoke to Connor and Kendall yesterday on the phone. So yeah, pretty short answer, pretty short question. No, it's pretty short question, pretty short answer. Now we're going to finally go to the campus, down at Tech Pub. Come on, Poppet. Come on. Look at that run. Look at that sprint. What are you doing? What are you doing? I think they've removed the pigs. I don't know if you guys remember from like my TikTok video, but last time, well, I say last time, about 6 months ago when we were here, there was like a barrier, probably like along here, and there was like 2 pigs behind, and they would like forage through the forest, but they're not here anymore, so we can only hope that they escaped and are still full well and alive, but I don't think that's the fact. Come on. Come in.
See the climate conference,
Yeah.
which is in Belém in Brazil, so we'll be sailing to that.
I hope Guinness doesn't see this. No jokes. So we're now down in the pub, and I'm going to answer one of the first questions, which is by a person called MDA_Marta. And they said, how do you feel the structure of Love Island / production affected your choices and your behaviour? Like, this is quite a difficult question to answer just because I'm not allowed to like talk about specifics, and like I've said before, I don't want to talk negatively about like any of the shows or anything like that, so I want to like put a positive twist on it, and I completely understand it's a reality TV show, so there's things that they tell you to do or get you to do or try to sway you to do in order to make their reality TV show. So unfortunately, there were times where they would tell you certain things that weren't actually true in order for you to do certain things to get certain reactions, and that was very apparent in Casa, and that's all I kind of really want to say about it. So question numero dos is from Chris Doc. How have you been enjoying making YouTube videos, and what's your goal for the channel moving forward? Firstly, I've enjoyed making the YouTube videos quite a lot because we've been getting out and about and doing loads of things which I don't think I would have done before. And secondly, the goals for the channel is, at the moment, it's like quite early stages, so we're not really sure what we want to do. But definitely travelling and exploring the rest of the UK is on our agenda. And also we have got plans to go like overseas and travel around like other countries as well, like Vietnam and the rest of like Europe. So that's in the works at the moment. But at the moment, we're just going to carry on with like the hiking, camping, and just taking Bailey out on as many sort of adventures as possible. So question number 3 is Manti Spance, which is, well, I'll ask the obvious, have you spoken to Kayla since the reunion? The truth is, we sent like a couple of messages back and forth during the filming of Reunion and the reunion coming when it came out, which was like between like the 15th and the 19th of whatever month it was. But since then we actually haven't like spoken at all. But I do wish her all the best. I hope she's doing well, and I don't have like any bad blood whatsoever like towards her. I don't know whether she probably still does with me or not, but from my end, like, it's absolutely fine. Like, I completely understand the TV show was a TV show. It was there to cause certain scenarios, and I think we both got hurt out of it. And I just like regret that I did hurt her in the process. But I hope that she understands that I never meant it in any sort of like bad way whatsoever. So yeah, quite a hard question to answer that one. The next question is by PPG Stan. I think this one's from TikTok. Love Island question. Looking back, what was the most challenging moment you faced on the show, and how did you handle it mentally and emotionally? I This is another really difficult question. I think the most like challenging thing was just like not having like my own space. I'm quite like an outdoorsy person and want to kind of be in nature as much as possible. And I think one of the most difficult things was firstly not having that, and secondly, this was even like before the show. I got like quite lonely when I was in the hotel room for like 3 weeks, and I didn't really like see anyone at all. So that was a big struggle for me. And I think then once we were kind of like on the show, it was just hard to have like normal conversations because we were always like mic'd up, and it always felt like we were almost like imprisoned and we couldn't say certain things, and it was just quite difficult. And yeah, there was a lot of times that I kind of had to like get pulled out or had to like walk out the villa and stuff. Like not even the scenes of me walking out the villa, but there was just times where I just had to like walk off and just like be by myself because I really did just struggle sometimes like being in that sort of situation. So yeah, that was quite difficult. And how did I deal with it emotionally? I think on the show and off the show you saw. So up until about the week 3 or 4, I probably like broke down so many times, but they never showed it. But yeah, I think after week 3, you kind of saw me cracking on screen. But I was like struggling from quite early on, and I feel like I should have probably been pulled from quite early on. So yeah, another super difficult question there. Hopefully this next one is going to be a lot better. Yeah, I feel really depressed. This is the next question. This is the last question in this pod, by the way. So this is from love of K-drama _ K-pop / our dating show, blah, blah, blah. I don't even know. Another question. Which of these series cast has reached out... which of the series cast has reached out to you the most after this show? People that just check in generally, regularly are Kendall. He checks in quite a lot. I spoke to him yesterday. Connor, he also checks in quite a lot. Rob is like... He's like one of these guys, I don't really know how to explain it. I get it because my brother is exactly the same. My brother went on holiday for literally 7 days and I messaged him twice and he didn't even get back to me. Like, he just doesn't speak to me and then I'll pick him up and then you just talk about everything. Rob's the sort of same, like, texting is just pointless, so I just FaceTime him every now and again, but he's like checked in on me. And then a couple of people that just dropped me a message was like Cordell and Serena. They just messaged me to say how I was doing. Which was like really nice for them. So miss them guys. And that is the last question in this pub. And now I feel all depressed and everything. So the next thing is going to be going to the driving range just to smash some balls so I can feel a bit happier again. That was well good. And as if by magic, we're at the driving range. First things first though. Your boy's got a Guinness, so that means you got to do a Guinness challenge. Oh, mate. F***ing sick. You know it's going to be a good day when you spit the G. Right, firstly I'm just going to whack a ball and then I'm going to ask her the next 5 questions. Out of the park. Let's go. There you go, 200 yards. The question is, what was the accommodation like in the Traitors, and did you know where everybody was staying? Also, did you actually eat all of the breakfast items shown in the show? Thank you. Firstly, yes, we did know where everyone else was staying because everyone else was staying in the same hotel. But you don't all go back at the same time. Everyone goes in different taxis with like 5-10 minutes apart from each other. And you're all blindfolded as well just before you get to the hotel. And did you actually eat all of the breakfast items shown in the show? Yeah, of course I did. It was like my favourite part of the show. I ate everything that was there. It was so good. Obviously not all that meats and cheeses and stuff, but everything else I could eat, I would eat. That was a bit of a nuke though. 187 yards, pretty poor. Next question is by Gomez02. Would you ever be willing to go on below deck? Now, no, is the short answer. The long answer, the reason why I would never go on below deck is because once you go on below deck, like all reality TV shows, they're trying to create drama. And if you ever want to go back into yachting again, people don't want people that are going to create drama. So it's almost like a career ender. If I was to go on below deck, I would never be able to actually go into yachting again. And I quite like the idea that someday I can go back to it. So short answer is no. All right, watch this. I'm going to absolutely spunk this one. Oh, yes. That was good. 239 yards. And the next question is by Brenna Rose 95. If you can go back and redo anything from Love Island, would you, and what would you do differently? The problem is, if I'd go back and do anything differently, it'd mean I would regret it, and I don't want to live life with regrets. So I guess not. And with the information that I had at the time, even though it wasn't all correct, I did the best of my knowledge. Like, I did the best did the best I could with the knowledge that I had, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I wouldn't go back and change anything, because I feel like I've learned a lot from it as well. I've learned a lot about myself, and I think I've learned a lot about like what I want to find in like the next person. So no, I wouldn't. Ah, I hit the bottom first. That literally went so high though, 119 feet high in the air. Right, the next question is from Dreamer 1980. Would you and your brother do Amazing Race? I think you'd be good at it. Would me and my brother do Amazing Race? Amazing Race is just the equivalent of like a race across the world here in the UK, but I would 100% do a race across the world. But I think me and my brother would be way too good at it if we did it. So I would have to do it with like my mum or something, because she's never travelled before. And I also would like the idea that me and mum could do like one last thing before she graduates as a nurse in a few months' time. So no, but yes. I used to actually be really good at these. I've not done these in such a long time. Did you see that? That was ridiculous. 100 to, there you go, 205 yards. All right, this is the final question, guys. And the question is, Are You Real? And the question is, what's your most favourite and worst moments in 2024? Worst moments is probably going to be first, like when I initially came off the show, the first like few weeks. First month was like quite horrendous. Just 'cause I was getting like loads of hate online and criticism and death threats, and people were just like, I don't know, being pretty horrible, which is kind of understandable, but at the same time, like, you can always be kind. So yeah, that was quite a tough time. And my favourite moment of 2024 has to be probably when we got Bailey, because that was a pretty good day, and she has brought a lot of happiness into our lives ever since we've got her. Guys, so that's all the questions for today answered. Thank you very much for every single person that asked the questions and sent them in. If you did like all of the videos, we've got quite a few videos in the pipeline at the moment that we're working on. And if you're interested in watching any of the videos, specifically the cycling video that we did for Mind Charity, click up there. We've also taken our puppy to the beach for the first time, click up there. And then if you're interested in watching our hitchhiking video as well that we did for the North Devon Hospice, click down there. And we'll see you next Saturday. Like and subscribe, a new video every Saturday.